has come out and been inflammatory and potentially put other people at risk with his comments. Not just about the referee stuff earlier on, but with this whole idea of sticking up for your player in the face of damning evidence that he's actually been a proper bellend and risked seriously further injuring someone for the sake of what?
Yeah.
Your team's bottom of the fucking league. What are you losing?
In what way was Jamie Acton sticking up for his halfback in that situation?
It's absolute bollocks.
Jamie Acton, we've talked about this numerous times. When the ball is in play, he's a player you'd want on your side.
Of course he is.
When the ball is not in play, he's such a fucking lunatic on a rugby league field.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the actions he makes, that you can't trust him.
Yeah.
The best parts of Jamie Acton will make him one of the best prop forwards in our competition. I genuinely believe that.
I'm on board with you, mate. I'm on board with you.
I just wish he could sort this sort of shit out, because it's Gareth Hock all over again. Yeah. It's kind of...
But it's a 25-year-old forward who should be coming into the prime of his career, and he's not going to achieve what he's capable of achieving in this sport because he's unhinged. And it's not... I'm sorry, I'm not putting it down to him just not being quite right in the head. He's a big enough boy now. Someone needs to be telling him, and they need to be shipping him out.
He needs
utterly ridiculous.
He needs to not have people patting him on the back saying, "Don't worry, mate, you are doing your halfback a solid." He needs to have them saying, "Look, Jamie, we know you didn't want to get involved in this. We know you don't like these parts of your character on the field. Let's try and address them because you can be a great asset."
Yeah, this isn't the 1980s. We have sports psychologists and sports psychiatrists knocking about all over the place. Someone surely is qualified enough to get in a room with Jamie Acton and try and fix that. And surely Lee Centurions have a duty of care, not just to the people that he's potentially paralysing, but also to the lad himself, to help him fix this character. Because I tell you now, if it weren't for rugby league and he was out behaving like that around Lee and Wigan Town Centre of a Saturday night, he'd be inside, he'd be doing time, and he could have killed someone. So why not help the lad out as much as... I know I'm smashing him and
look, we are maybe,
but why not have someone help him out?
Because big levels, because
I don't think we are.
Because we're outraged and enraged by it, and we've done this sort of thing for every type of incident we see like this, and we're not. We just don't want to see it, do we? I
got nothing against the people in the league. I got nothing against the club itself. I think the person who runs it was bang out of line, and I think Jamie Acton needs serious help.
Yeah,
is what I would take from that. Anyway, we'll move on.
More positive stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Leeds Rhinos have offered their exciting youngster Jack Walker a new contract. The club's chief executive Gary Hetherington has confirmed. Walker grabbed the headlines last Thursday with a man-of-the-match performance as Leeds moved up to second following a victory against St Helens. The 17-year-old's existing junior deal expires at the end of the current season. So good. Well done, Jack Walker, because he was fantastic.
Clearly a talent. Saints. Clearly a talent.
And they focused on him and they put kicks down his throat, and he was... I'm struggling to remember an error. Certainly under the high ball, he was flawless, and he's 17. Good on him. I hope he kicks on. I hope he develops, because there's real potential there in that young man. London Broncos have this week completed the signing of former Hull Kingston Rovers hooker John Budebza. The 27-year-old has joined the club for the remainder of the season, having initially joined Toulon after he was released by the Robins following their relegation to the Championship. Brings a bit of backup to the Broncos lineup then.
It's good to get a player like that involved at this stage of the season, to be able to pick up a player like that who's shown qualities at the Super League level. Maybe never to have been a top Super League player, but to certainly be a player who can fit into a full-time rugby league environment and contribute positively to your team. John Budebza is one of them, and if you can pick one of them up at this stage of the season for London Broncos, I think that's a great call.
There you go. Rochdale Hornets player Lewis Galbraith has been banned for 8 matches for verbally abusing an opposing player. The centre was found guilty by an independent tribunal following an incident during the Hornets' Summer Bash victory over Oldham. A fight broke out in the 79th minute of the match, which resulted in Oldham's Sam G being sent off for striking an opposition player. However, it's now emerged that Galbraith has been suspended for his involvement after G was represented at the hearing by a barrister. Rochdale have confirmed they will appeal the decision and are understood to be frustrated by the decision.
It's interesting. I remember the kick-off.
Yeah, I do. There's a lot of cloak and dagger about that.
It can't just have been about Sam G's haircut, I suppose. It must have been about more than
perhaps,
that.
Yeah.
Strange. I don't know if they have any history previous to that.
I would suggest the lack of details about what is alleged to have been said might be because things are ongoing in terms of appeals, and we might learn more about that.
Look, an 8-match ban
tells you it's one of two things, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
He's either questioned his heritage or his sexuality, hasn't he? So, there you are. So a deserved length of time, I would say. Castleford Tigers have lost thousands of pounds after the club's ground was burgled over the weekend. The Super League leaders claim their stadium was targeted in the early hours of both Friday and Saturday evening, which has resulted in a significant loss of cash and coins along with damages to offices. Wakefield District CID are investigating and have asked anyone with any information to come forward.
I hope they get it sorted out. I mean, now they let it happen twice.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a little bit of a stretch. So, but yeah, that would have been. It's damaging to rugby league clubs. We're not, you know.
Not made of money.
No.
It's horrific.
And it's upsetting as well when it's been such a good news story around Castleford this year. So hopefully it doesn't derail them in any way on or off the field.
That's it.
And the knobheads who did it, the disgusting, selfish criminals, get sorted out.
There you go. Salford Red Devils have completed a deal to sign former New Zealand international Manu Vatuvei. According to League Express, the 31-year-old, known to many New Zealand fans as the Beast, is contracted to NRL side New Zealand Warriors until the end of the season, but Salford have reached an agreement to bring the powerhouse winger over to England, handing the club a major boost. Well, yeah. 6 years ago, maybe. He's got dicks for fingers at times, hasn't he?
The phrase "rocks and diamonds" was almost invented for Manu Vatuvei, but it's certainly the rocks are getting bigger and the diamonds are getting harder to find.
That's it. It's the right time.
Name-wise, it's a coup.
Of course it is. It's great for the brand.
If he can deliver more than Daniel Vido, then that would be a bonus.
Yeah. I would say that would be the bare minimum.
I can't imagine that he'll give them what Carney gave them, even without the drawbacks of Carney's character. Yeah. He gave so much to that side when he was not being a character. The Beast probably will drop more balls than he successfulully carries into and beyond the defensive line, but the lad can finish.
Of course he can.
He's got a big
hatful of experience. It's good for the young players around Salford to have people like that coming in.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm surprised he's only 31.
He has slowed down a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah. There you go. And finally, an amateur rugby league player has died during a North West Men's League Division 4 match. Adam Carney Cooper was 31, was playing for the Warrington side Culcheth Eagles away at Runcorn ARLFC at Heath Playing Fields in Runcorn on Saturday. An ambulance was called, but the father of 3 could not be saved. A minute's applause will be held before the Eagles game on Sunday, the club tweeted, adding thanks to the rugby league family for messages of support. A club statement said, "It is with deepest sadness that we can now confirm the passing of one of our open age players, Adam Carney Cooper, at yesterday's away match at Runcorn. It said he would be sadly missed by his mum, fiancée Michelle, 3 children, grandma, sister, stepfather, uncle, and all of his rugby league family." Okay, that's the news from around the world of rugby league. Let's really try and focus up as we take a look back now at round 20 of Super League. Okay, round 20 of Super League will start last Thursday evening. Leeds Rhinos 24, St Helens 22. A close one there at Headingley in front of 13,262, refereed by James Child.
Yes, and we start with the Hodge. He says, "Finally managed to get to a game this year. What a game it was. We never make it easy for ourselves, but still buzzing after that and half a pint. Gotta watch it back on Sky to see some of the calls and dodgy tackles, but once again we tie ourselves with one hand behind our back by leaving an interchange on the bench. This has to be the 3rd time he's done it to Ormondroyd, the poor lad. Also, Lily set a marker down."
Frogmore got in touch and said, that loss hurt more than jamming your dick in the car door. Hurts then.
Jamming your dick in the car door suggests it's been done on purpose.
I think it's just lost in translation. I think it's a common language. I think it's 2 countries divided by a common language.
Okay.
I don't think he's actually suggesting that you should engage in any kind of coital relationship with an automobile.
His wouldn't get caught up in that anyway, would it?
I've got no idea, Mark. He could be carrying a hammer for all we know.
At Aidan Stalker says, put a pin in it. LMS is one of our best players at the moment. Says it all, really.
Certainly does say it all. Tyler Casfan, hasn't Jack Walker's had a great life so far? From putting pints in the Rovers' return to owning a Premier League winning team, and now he's the star debutant at fullback for the Leeds Rhinos. The breadth of knowledge this young man has is exceptional. Leeds still not creative enough when in good positions, but Myler the Messiah will put that all right next year.
St David said, I am trying so hard to follow your lead and not criticise the Freeze. I will have to have a week off. Child and Hicks should be fucking shot at dawn.
Oh, behave.
No way was a 11 to 3 count a fair reflection. Multiple high shots missed and play the ball infringements. Hicks' decision on the dropout! ! What is the fucking point? Fair shake on the pens and we win that game, and we would still have done with more and would still
Would still have done with more composure.
Morgan had his best game by far.
There you go. Elliot Wrench, it won't go down as a classic, but there was a great battle there. No love lost from the off. Leeds quietly knocking on the door. Excuse me. Like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. Saints. Have that. There you go. So, Thursday evening, Mark. It was a good game. And no one's mentioned Jordan Lilly, who had an outstanding game.
Well, I thought Jordan Lilly grew into the game because he started the game with that missed kick at goal. That was pretty bad by his standards. But then he did pick things up and he retained the goal kicking duties, probably because Liam Sutcliffe went off injured more than anything else. But that got Ryan Hall back into the centres, and we didn't talk enough about that the last week before when he played the cup game in the centres. We've talked about him moving in, haven't we?
It's starting to happen.
He's on the journey.
He's on the road to the pack, isn't he?
Soon he'll be second row.
That's it.
But anyway, so he did grow into the game, didn't he, Tom? You were saying?
No, they talked about it ad nauseum on Sky, but just the fact that he's coming from having not played at all really for Leeds Rhinos this season, and has been in and out of the club on loan deals to my Bulls and bits and pieces like that. It probably would have. Wouldn't have been surprised if he'd had a bit of a shocker, because he simply isn't familiar with playing with these lads as much this year. And like you alluded to, he did grow into the game. But by the end of it, some of the kicks he was putting in for, kicks for pat downs for tries and things like that, and moving around the park, actually, it was harkening back to those times when Gary Schofield was calling in for England's selection for him. Now, I'm not for a second suggesting that should happen, but for a lad who we've both talked about being potentially on the fringes at Leeds and wondering why he's been allowed out on loan, maybe this is part of the broader plan. Another year of Maguire and Burrow and bits of Sutcliffe doing the heavy lifting while Jordan Lilly matures a touch more, ready for him kicking on next season, perhaps.
Whatever lesson McDermott thinks he's been teaching him this year, I think when he does pull on a Leeds shirt, he shows him that the lesson doesn't need to be learned. I think he's already polished enough to be playing consistent in Super League and will only get better. Talking about someone who looks polished already at a very young age and will only look better. Young Walker looks to me already 2 steps ahead of young Cyborg, even though he's been outstanding defensively. Walker has shown pretty strong in defence. The odd mistake by the lad, that's it. Pretty strong in defence, but much more of a threat in attack as well.
Definitely. He was a ghostly runner, wasn't he? The way he ran that ball back, he's got that agility and that sort of those little jinks that just break teams open from time to time. And look, St Helens will have gone out to focus on him, and they did do with their early attacking kicks, putting nice high balls up for him and trying to make him work. And the kid didn't blink. He was all over all of them. And for a 17-year-old in that environment to respond that well says a great deal about the young man. And I know he's made a full debut before for Leeds, hasn't he? He played in the cup game as well. But this is a big time environment for him to go into, and he stepped up exceptionally well, and it's culminated. This week has culminated in a new deal for him, and he's going to be a professional at Leeds Rhinos for at least a couple of years. And I really hope he kicks on and develops, because if you're 17 and you're able, think about the sort of people that we see make.
Let's not put too much pressure on him, but
think about the sort of people that make this kind of impression at 17, and some of the careers that they go on to have. Now, I'm not saying Andy Farrell, but John Bateman was making an impression at 16, 17. This is, if you're that kind of kid and you've got that ability at that age, there's real potential to go on and have a good career there. So hopefully they nurture him well, because he was phenomenal in this game. And was one of the difference makers for Leeds.
There's two more significant things from the first half I want to pull out. Obviously the sad injury to Maya Smith from friendly fire.
Yes.
That did mess up things for St Helens somewhat. It's got to be said. And then both teams left opportunities out there, I felt, in the first half.